Hello and welcome to another guide, everybody. We had a big patch in Illuvium. I would say the biggest patch. I know I keep saying this, but there is big patch after big patch in Illuvium. And right now, all the big features have been implemented. So I think it's about time that we do a little guide. And right here, I'm going to talk you through what I played. Which, little spoiler, it was rogues and they are OP right now. And while I talk you through the composition, and this is a very viable composition, even though it has been nerfed a little bit in the last patch, I'm also gonna tell you what I do, when I do it, why I do it, and all my thought process behind it. So hopefully you can learn a lot from this video. Even if you don't want to play rogues, this video is still gonna be very valuable for you to have a look at and to check it out. I have my little market tool right here so we can highlight stuff. And also I wanted to preface that I am one of the top players in Illuvium. You won't find me up in the top leaderboard because I don't have time to grind 200, 300 games a month. But as soon as I am able to not host a tournament and play myself, you usually find me in the top 8. So I think that is a pretty good measurement as well. That being said, let's jump right into it and let's see what it's all about. So I'm playing rogues right here and we went to our first threshold for rogues. The second threshold. The first one is 1 rogues, then it's 4, and then it's 7. Basically, Ramfight finally is again the corner composition threat, because if you have a Ramfight here and it casts, it's gonna one-shot everybody here. At least that's the idea. So we're gonna see how that works out. Paired with that, because our abilities can crit, we also want to have a lot of rogues. So 7 rogues is the goal, and all those 7 rogues are doing a lot of damage on themselves. I'm going for Scion right here because I have 1 Scion unit with the Poodlemoth. That way I'm able to provide a little bit of ability power to my whole team, and I think it's a decent boost. Because I know my final composition is going to have 1 Scion unit, I went for the second Scion. So when you pick those, like you're picking Earth, Air, Bulwark, whatever it is, you want to already have an idea what's your final composition going to be like, and is that going to fit in? Because it's going to feel very bad if your final composition, for example, if you play water, your final composition has 2 bulwarks usually. The Axon and the Cardulux. It's going to feel very good if you pick a bulwark emblem, and then your final composition is going to have 3 bulwarks, hitting that 3 bulwark threshold right there. But for example, if you play water and you pick 2 bulwark emblems, you're going to end up with 4, and then it's going to feel weird and kind of wasted. So for the legendary augments, I went for basically the Phantom augment, because this one also lets your abilities be able to crit and gives you Omega power and crit chance. So I thought in general this is a good idea, because you know, if this Artes right here is going to be able to crit, it's going to do way more damage. It's going to turn out later that it wasn't the best idea right here, but we're going to see about that. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the other units in our team. So right now we have Revo right here as our main augment carry, and he's been doing a pretty good job, also the Poodlemoth, but it's not really consistent yet what we're doing. You see, we're falling down to 67 health. We had 2 wins, but now we had a loss again. We don't really hit our power spike yet. So some of our power spike and some of our win conditions is, for example, Revenant. Revenant you will get from the stage 2 Tiru right here, plus the stage 2 Vermilier, or Verminio. So here, really nice augment choice, by the way. I didn't try this before because I haven't really played attack damage rangers like this one, the Fighter Air Ranger. But that's Dead Eyes Wrath. We're gonna see it in a second. This one, every 15 attacks give me Omni power. It's a bit slow, right? This one blinds everybody at 3 thresholds at Ranger health. Decent if you play a tank and if you want to have sustain. But this one, every 3rd attack deals 300% of attack damage as pure damage, which we're gonna see in a second is gonna be a huge damage boost for our Ranger. And yeah, I went for this one right here, which is Fighter Air, which is not perfect for playing rogues, but it's not so bad. The problem is, what can I make? Which composite class can I make with a fighter? Basically, just fighter rogue, which is Slayer, which means I either have to get the stage 3 Gyro, which can be really tough at the moment because many people buy it, or the stage 3 Umber right here, which also can be tough. So if you pick fighter, it's a little bit hard to get there. Another better option probably would have been to get a rogue or an empath weapon, because then rogue plus empath gets Revenant, and I can get 1, 2, And with the Vermiliaire right here, 3. And then maybe I find an emblem for 4 Revenant, which can be really, really good. Also, if I pick Rogue, it's probably the best one because then I have all the options. I can bond Rogue with my Artes to get Phantom, which obviously is the win condition in the end. Like, that's what you're building for, by the way. The win condition in the end is a Ramfire plus a Monarch, giving you Phantom, being able to one-shot the enemy team. And it's so satisfying if it happens. And then with Rogue, I can also bond Rogue plus Rogue, giving me Predator, activating, for example, the Chukol and the Grilla. So yeah. Fighter, not very versatile, but this weapon specifically has a lot of damage. And we're gonna see in a second how that performs. I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit here because I've been talking on pause so long. We actually leveled up to level 7, got 6 rogues in. And I just wanted to have a little bit more power on the board because I'm getting kind of low in my HP. And usually you used... Your win condition would be all those small rogues, get them to stage 3, right? The Tibiruku, the Gorilla. You have so many tier 1 rogues and you wanted to get them all to stage 3. But that's not really the win condition anymore. So now the win condition is getting stage 3 on the big rogues like the Ramfire, the Umber, and so on. So that's why I don't really care about staying low on level and rolling for those tier 1 units. But I'm rather pushing level, being at level 7, rolling down my extra gold there, maybe level 8, to really have better chances of finding the Ramfi. So by the way, you can see it here. The white bar is just the pure damage from that enhancement that we picked. So we just doubled our damage with that enhancement, so that one is really good if you have a heavy auto attack damage unit. I don't really need Earth right here, so we're just gonna go for Strike, I think. Yeah, for the red one, to just boost our rogues. I think it would have been even better to go for the Omega Power for the purple one, because we want to have big Omega Power augments for our Ramfire. But it doesn't all need to be there. If you have Phantom activated, plus 7 rogues, you have almost a guaranteed crit on the Ramfire cast. And then sometimes it's better to have something like a sustain augment on Ramfire, so it doesn't die before the cast, so you can guarantee the first cast to actually happen. Alright, we still lost the last round after pushing to level 7. Now we push for level 8, down to 38 gold. Maybe we can sell 2 gold right here to get to 40 credits to get to the next income stage. But now, basically, I wanted to push for level for 7 rogues, get to level 8, give me a good chance of finding those Ramfis, those high-cost units. Also a better chance of finding tier 3, I think. Here, the Arte is always good to tank, because usually... before it dies, it gets 1 cast out and flies over there. We're gonna see probably in a second the decent damage on the Arte's cast, even though it died. So usually you wanna kinda let Arte's tank a little bit. First of all, it gets more mana, and then it dodges all the attackers by flying away, usually making a really good cast happen. And yeah, we can see the Ranger again, top damage dealer. So definitely did a good choice and did a good job picking the weapon enhancement and the suit enhancement that we did. Alright, so what's the plan? We definitely want to get rid of the Volante. You usually don't want to play tier 0 units in the late game, so that's gonna probably be swapped for maybe a Slashing right here. We get a second Slapping. We're gonna see how that works out. Also, we want to finally find 2 more Vermilias to get our Verminio to activate Revenant. Vermilia right here is an empath, so you don't get that rogue stack. So for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we have 8 rogues? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we have 7 because our range is our fighter. Our range is a fighter. That's the other thing. Like, the fighter weapon is really not that good. It is good in the sense of providing good damage, but it's not really good for our composition here, because now we need to find 7 rogues, and otherwise we can find 6 rogues plus the Ranger is gonna do that. So that fighter emblem is kind of wasted. Also, versus this corner composition, we don't have the means yet. We don't have that Ramfight yet to burst through to get in there. But hopefully we're gonna get that soon. And if you ever played Ramfight and Ramfire, you know how satisfying it is if you actually one-shot the enemy team. Necrovorion right here playing a full Earth team, by the way, versus us. So that's a little bit scary. That's what we just lost against, because all his units go instantly hyperactive. Earth counters fire, right? Now we have a PvE round, so we're chilling. And we're just analyzing his team right there. We found the Lolura. That's a nice upgrade. And we are getting ready to roll a little bit because, yeah, we're down to 40 health. We don't want to fall much lower. Once you get to 30, 20, you're very close to getting knocked out. And you usually want to stabilize around 40. So you don't want to be too greedy with your mastery points. You don't want to roll it all down, right? Unless you're really down to your last life. You do want to keep a little bit, otherwise you run out of steam. But maybe we roll down to 30, maybe maximum to 20. Just to bring the best board that we can. And yeah, try to stabilize now. So here we're gonna go energy cost reduced, I think. Because Omnivamp not that good, the other one not that impactful. And yeah, just casting more. I think we already had an upgrade for more damage on the cast. And now we're casting more. So we're just trying to, those upgrades, they should synergize with each other. And what I mean by that is, if you have something where your Omega cast does more damage, well, maybe your second one should be more Omega casts, because then they, you know, they synergize with each other. So now we made an augment, and this one is a very, very good one for the Ramfi. You basically drop aggro at 50% health. Which means it always, or usually 99% of the time, it's gonna get its first cast out. So with this augment right here, we guaranteed the Ramfi cast, which is our win condition in the end. Then we have stacking Omega power on him. So once he casts, it's gonna do a decent amount of damage. There we go. Even here, it's gonna do a lot of damage. Look at that. It one-shot 3 units, which basically secured us the win right here. Also, our Ranger is going crazy. Also, the Monarch with the abilities able to crit is going quite nuts. We need 2 more Poodle Muffs to get to the Monarch, which is then gonna give us Phantom, and Ramfight, the stage 2, is also gonna give us Phantom. So usually your first step to your win condition is gonna be stage 3 Poodle Muff, stage 2 Ramfight, which is gonna give you Phantom, and finally your abilities can crit. And yeah, we're not gonna get the stage 3 right here with our TB Ruko, which is a little bit sad. Because the other thing is we have air here, which kind of locks us in place as well of what units, of what composite affinities we're gonna go with our Ranger. So basically right now we can only bond with fire to get shock, or we bond with earth to get dust, and that's what we did. We went for dust. It would be cool to maybe have the option of going for Inferno, but it's not that detrimental. Steam would be best, I think. So if we had water or fire, we could go for steam. We keep rolling. We're finding the Ramfight and the Monarch, now activating Phantom right here. Which also means this unit can already crit on abilities, so we don't need this legendary augment anymore on our two core units, which kind of feels weird, right? So maybe not the best choice. Here comes the Ramfight cast. Boom! Everything is dead. And you love to see it. Monarch also laid a great blaze of fire right here, a fire trail, where I think it's like this wide maybe. So it easily hits a lot of units and did a lot of damage, as we can see here. But definitely Ramfight already starting to carry with the Phantom trait activated. And now we should do our augments a little bit and push Ramfight to be our main carry. Now we got the Verminio, so now we also got Revenant activated right here, and it's all slowly coming together. We also have this Rogue Emblem, which is going to be very good later on. We're going to see how that works out later. So this gives us 25 Omega power and 25% crit chance. It is still decent to put this on a Ramfight, for example, but instead we're gonna do this, which also gives us crit chance. So now we're, I think, at 95% crit or something. So we have a guaranteed crit, we have a guaranteed cast with this augment, and we have stacking Omega power, basically guaranteeing a one-shot for the whole enemy team. This guy has Rogue and also stacking damage, which, yeah, we don't really have augments for the Monarch. And then the third unit we are utilizing and augmentizing here is the Verminio. So nice cast here with the Monarch, doing a lot of damage over there. Here comes the Ramfight, one-shotting the outside, the outlier of the units. And not perfectly positioned, but decent enough that we were able to get through our enemies and get in there. So looking at our affinities, we're not perfectly positioned, right? We have 4 fire, And we already have the stack at 3, so we would like to have 3 or 5. And then we have 3 air, so we would also like to have 2 or 4 here to be maximum efficient. So we might be able to pull 1 air away, put in another fire, giving us more damage on our core units, or pull 1 fire away and get 4 air, giving us more dodge chance. Either way, this is like small changes. Don't focus too much to perfectly optimize all your affinities and synergies. Usually you want to focus more on just playing the best units you can. Alright, so again, perfect augments on the Ramfight, I think. Stacking Omega Power, maybe flat Omega Power could be better, because the first cast happens quite early. But yeah, what you want to do versus the corner position and put that Ramfight in there. Put the Lulura next to it, so hopefully it protects the Ramfight a bit. Put this guy in there as well, where Minio is going to reduce all Omega Power. And then on the outside, the Monarch, so the Monarch is hopefully going to fly down here, doing a lot of damage. And now let's just watch the beauty happen. Hands off. I'm not doing shit. I'm just watching. Look at that. Boom. Full enemy team. Only the Ranger left alive. He had to watch his friends die. And that's what you like to see versus those corner positionings. Ramfight with a 15,000 damage. One shot right there. Look at him. He's celebrating. He knows what he did. And this is just a beauty in itself. And this is what it's all about in Illuvium for me. One-shotting corner compositions with the pterodactyl line. I love it. Beautiful. All right, we're going to the carousel, which 8 out of 10 times is not bugged. Right now it is bugged. I'm being a very important person here in the middle, standing there. But usually you can have a workaround. So I know this is where I'm supposed to be. And as soon as this is open, I assume that I'm standing here, right? And then I'm just gonna run to the right as soon as I want something. So let's see if it works out. Well, actually worked out up here. I did want to get this guy, and I just got him. My unit didn't move, but it's still running around invisible. So you can still make stuff happen. Again, this is still open beta. This is our first patch after the testnet. Like, this is the first mainnet production going live. So obviously there's a few bugs, but it has been very stable, I think. And also we have seen a lot of more polish. It is a blast to play. I'm gonna try to have some sound effects in the next game as well, but usually I'm playing with copyrighted music when I record those. So then oftentimes I cannot use the actual sound in game. But I hope that's alright for you guys. So yeah, we hit our power spike with Phantom right here. We also have Revenant active. We're still missing another dash. Here is a slap-in, so maybe slap-in would be better than the stage 1 dash, definitely for now. We're going for our Vermilia here, at which point we might be able to bring in Adorado to activate Spore. And yeah, we're just playing dominoes, connecting the pieces now, and just trying to optimize our build a little more, and obviously save up money and slow roll down for the Ramfire. We still need a Ramfire to guarantee us a win in the late game. And so we have 90 gold right here, right? We're looking really good. So definitely no problem here. Now we found a Phantom emblem. So here we got very lucky. Now we're going to be able to get 3 Phantom. If we had a better Ranger weapon, we would be able to get 4 Phantom, which would be insane because 4 Phantom gives you lifesteal basically on your cast. So then every time my units cast, they heal full, which would be crazy. Here we have some shield plus 40 Omega power. So I like this a little bit more than the flat 40 Omega power. Really good augments there for what we want to do. But yeah, now we have this problem, right? We have 1, 2, 3 Phantoms, which abilities can crit. And now we have this augment still, the legendary augment, which is completely useless because my main units can already do what the legendary augment provides us to do, being able to crit. We have 80 gold, we are rich, and we're gonna roll down slowly but surely to find the Ramfire, hopefully, and also to find a Vermilier, which we just did, I believe. By the way, if the enemy drone is blocking you, you just have to go here, and then you can mute them. So once you mute the enemy player, you don't see their emotes, and their drone won't be in the middle of the battlefield anymore. We got the Vermilier. We're slow rolling down. Everything above 70 gold we can roll away. We're in no threat right now, being on 40 health. We don't need to invest more, or we don't have to go below maximum income and just maximize our gold right now. swapping out the dash. Not really much happening. It's all about the last few seconds reposition, and I keep doing the same Ramfight closest to the wall to ensure we are closest to maximum units. Then we're gonna put Vermilier and Lulura to protect Ramfight, and then we're gonna put a Monarch on the outside, hopefully laying down some fire here on the outside. So as you can see, Ramfight was able to be here as the only unit of those rogues. Goes up, goes down, pretty much one-shots the whole enemy team, or at least 7 out of 10 units. The Umber finally goes down. It was a little bit closer than expected, but we were able to finish it off, and you can see it with the damage. Really, the 2 Inferno Phantom guys are definitely our main carries. Everybody else is more or less there to support them. So I'm sure you could also make this happen with 5 rogues. I've also seen people just throw in a random Ramfight. It's finally a good unit again, right? Ramfight hasn't been played a lot compared to all the other tier 5s like Scarabog, Adorado, Foe, and all of those tier 5s have been one of the most important units in the game in the last patches, except Ramfight. So I'm really, really happy to see Ramfi return to the table and just be a valuable option and also a counter to the corner positioning. We're again slow rolling down, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here. It's very straightforward. We just position again into the corner composition onto the side of our enemy, and then we're just gonna... Actually, this one I think was tough. I'm not quite sure why, but our Ramfight right here got one shot without being able to be cast. Without able to cast its ability. So here comes the cast from the... What was it really? I think it was just the C4s one-shotting us. Because who else could it be? It's a bit hard, but those are all fighters, right? Maybe the Gorilla cast, actually. Gorilla jumping over. See the timing now? No, it's already dead before he casts. So this was very surprising to me. This was, I think, the only time that the Ramfight wasn't able to cast his ability. Boom. Instantly dead. I don't think it's just the C4's cast. Maybe also the Ranger. The Ranger could have been it. It might have been the Ranger, to be honest. It looks like it's attacking the Lulura, though. Yeah, now it's done. Now it's attacking the Ramfight, and it casts a cast. So I guess also my enemy is playing the air. Didn't do that much damage. I don't know. Is also playing the air fighter weapon, and that was able to one-shot my Ramfight beyond. If we had lifesteal here, we would have done it, right? We would have lifestealed so much with the Monarch. Monarch doing 11,000 damage. But yeah, we were able to take it 27 health. So definitely now we're almost down to our last life. It's important that you kind of know how much damage you can take, because I know with 27 health, it's as long as I don't like lose to someone and all 10 units are left alive, I should be able to survive. Usually you don't take much more than 25 damage. And this is gonna be very important very soon. But same thing here. We keep rolling for the Rampfire. We keep rolling for everything else as well. We're just picking up anything we can. Now we pushed for level 9. We're able to find the Adorado and gonna activate Spore. And some extra healing right here is always nice. We just gotta take care that, yeah, our Adorado is not too much in trouble here. So we're gonna position Adorado away from everyone else. And then again, our units into everyone else. And we're gonna see how that works out. Here comes a beautiful Monarch cast, laying down the fire beneath everyone. And finally the Ramfight cast to finish them off. But Monarch already did so much damage there. Able to kill them. Okay, we have a PvE round. We keep rolling for Umbers, for Ramfights. Fight the PvE round. Here we have a support augment. All of them not really important. So we went for the one that is a little bit offensive, as this provides us 30 Omega power to a highest attack speed unit. So whoever that is going to benefit a lot from that 30 Omega power. Find another dash, another dash. So we're getting close there. We find another Ramfi. Now it's going to be tough to decide what we're going to sell. Probably the Lura right here. Everything else, we have a lot of copies. We did decide to sell the Tibiruku because it's a tier 1. We only have 10% on him. So it's a little bit more unlikely to actually find him. And we made the mistake to upgrade the Lulura, and now we probably have to sell him. I would sell again the tier 1 unit if I could redo it all again. But we ended up selling the Slashin. Or what was it? Ended up selling the Lulura again. So we never needed to upgrade it. Finding that Ramfight. We did get dropped here. And this is very important, right? The problem here is I'm busy with my bench and with re-rolling. And what I don't do is position my Ramfight in here, position this guy in here, position the Monarch in here. So my positioning is completely off. I just left them in the middle in the neutral positioning and got lost in the sauce right down here. Which is very, very dangerous because in the late game positioning is everything. And I'm gonna fast forward, but yeah, basically my Ramfight didn't even have a space. Everybody got stuck on that tank right there. Then my Ramfight has to run over here. My Monarch gets one shot in the air. My Ramfight finally casts down here, doesn't hit anyone. And we lose this round. The good thing is I'm on 27 health, and that's also why I was focusing on the bench. Because I felt safe. And luckily I did my calculations right. We're left with 2 health versus Kalex from Phantom right here. So now we're gonna go into the Carousel, which is still bugged for me, but I think I figure it out again. And then look at that. We come out of the Carousel. Oh, don't you love it? Don't you love to see it? Ramfire and an Umber. Umber is waiting for us. So we found both of our win conditions. Then we also found the Slap-in down to 0 gold, finding all our stage 3 units, which is pretty nuts. So now our final build is actually 3 air, 3 fire, 2 spore, 2 inferno, 2 dust, 2 water, 7 rogue, 3 phantom, 2 revenant, 2 slayers as well, and 2 empaths, which is kind of nuts. So our ranger ended up being a slayer in the end, and now finally activated with the Umber. Just place that Ramfire into everyone and watch the magic happen. No need to say anything here. It's 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, my friends. Ophisto one-shot, everybody else one-shot. Again, the ranger left alive to watch his friends die and see his life vanish into nowhere. The drone is out and we have secured the win with an absolute beautiful triple phantom team right here. Ranger, again, not perfect weapon, but it did work out pretty well because this weapon does a lot of damage. So it wasn't perfect for the affinities and classes. It's really a strong unit on itself though. And this is what you sometimes have to balance. Do I go for perfect synergies or do I go for just a strong unit which in itself can carry me? Here we can see the final composition. We found a lot of those stage 3 units. We were able to go to level 9 and have a really, really good team. Very lucky with our augments as well, finding Phantom. I don't think it would have changed much. Maybe even a Ramfight would have one-shotted if the positioning is right. So definitely a very strong team, especially versus corner positionings. And there you have it. Another team for you to try out. Good luck with that. And I see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.